winning streak. Once that happens, then I feel like everybody can exhale a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, winning takes care of everything. Winning cures all, and losing kind of ruins things. So, if they continue to struggle, they're at the very least going to be highly motivated to address some of these situations going forward. So plenty of time to talk about that. The focus has to be on the game tonight. And Drapes, talking about the Houston game, you predicted this, I think yesterday you called for this.
Yeah.
Ime Udoka fined $50,000 by the NBA for his actions during the loss to the Kings. What else we got? Şengün was fined $15,000 for directing inappropriate language toward a game official. And Tari Eason fined $35,000 for tossing a towel and using more inappropriate language in the direction of a fan after the game. You called that one.
Yeah, but Ime got off light. In my opinion. Yeah, I think so. 50,000, because you look at what Mike Brown did a couple weeks ago. He got hit 35,000. Ime tried to intimidate an official.
Yeah.
And then his post-game comments too. Like, to me, he should have been hit twice. That, to me, it should have been like 100,000 or 70,000, whatever it could be. He got off a little light, I thought. But you know what? It is what it is. I saw that when the release came out, and I was like, just a fine? He actually may have gotten his money's worth, like, 50,000. And I know it's a lot to ordinary people like us, but to him, all right, he moves on.
To what extent do you think that the Kings will be challenged tonight in the manner that Houston challenges you? To what extent is tonight about? I know Dylan Brooks isn't there anymore. Obviously, he's with Houston. But to what extent is Memphis a team that's going to get physical with you and question your courage a little bit?
Well, the thing about Memphis, they're an elite offensive team. They rank top 2, I think, in efficiency, or 5 in efficiency. I got the numbers right here. They're an elite offensive team. They beat you with their offense. They don't necessarily beat you with their defense. When I look at the team, they don't, like you said, have a Dylan Brooks or a Tari Eason or a Van Vliet or something like that. But I feel like how Memphis beats you is they're relentless in what they do. Like they keep coming at you in waves. They don't let you come up for air, if you will, and that's on both sides of the ball. I thought Houston was more of a bar fight, kind of scratching, clawing, and grabbing. To me, Memphis is just that gnat or that fly you just can't get rid of, And so now they do got some tough guys. Like Desmond Bane, he plays with a little bit of chip on his shoulder. My boy Marcus Smart, who we'll see tonight, will play. But Smart doesn't try to get under your skin with dirty tactics like Dylan Brooks. He tries to do a lot of the little things. Watch out for some flopping tonight. Marcus Smart is, you know what I mean? He's not opposed to flopping. Like his is more gamesmanship, that kind of thing. And so I think this is I thought we had to match Houston's physicality on Tuesday. I feel like this is a mental game because, they're going to be relentless at you. Marcus Smart's going to do his antics as well. And so I feel like Memphis is the type of team that can get into your head mentally, whereas physically Houston would try and dominate you.
And I think, we were just talking about the tsunami warning, and thankfully everything's fine. The Grizzlies are a team that can kind of come at you in waves. They push pace, and a lot of people, I know I was excited that the Kings had 7 guys in double figures in the last game, and the Grizzlies have 7 guys averaging in double figures. So you got to buckle up because they're going to push pace and they're going to come at you offensively tonight.
Yeah, and the thing too about Memphis that you have to look at, you talk about 7 guys in double figures. They got guys that were on the scrap heap elsewhere. Scottie Pippen Jr. Like he's now a solid player. He's turned into a solid player for them. And so they have, sure, Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. get all the headline, but they got some blue collar guys too, that maybe not as highly publicized or anything like that, but they got guys that might not be at the top of the scouting report, but they can still beat you out there.
Yeah, The Athletic, by the way, has the Kings First quarter grade. The Kings' first quarter grade is in, and we'll share that with you when we come right back to Sacktown Sports Drive, guys. Getting ready for the Kings and the Grizzlies tonight.
Tonight, Kings and Grizzlies. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 3:30. Tip-off at 5. Your exclusive home for the Sacramento Kings is Sacktown Sports 1140. Christmas music is everywhere. The smell of gingerbread is in the air. And wait, what's that sound? It's Santa. He's headed back to Sacramento for the 41st annual Santa Parade, December 14th in downtown Sacramento. Bring your entire family to the parade route around the Capitol for over 100 floats, including marching bands, pageant princesses, clowns, horses, and of course, Santa himself.
The 41st annual Santa Parade, Saturday, December 14th with Western Health Advantage, Gurnick Academy, and the California Army National Guard. The fun begins at 10 a.m. Get more info at sacktownsports.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
No, I'm good.
We are. As a
Right
fiduciary,
here.
we always focus on
Thank
what's
you.
best for our
Yeah.
clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Yeah, that's what.
Okay, but you
I
still
can't
sell
even access the
commission-based
web
products,
browser or
right?
anything.
No,
showing an
because
IP
we think that's
address,
conflict of interest.
But I can't
We
access
prioritize
any,
service over sales
sites or
goals.
anything.
So
Like,
then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee. That's a
Like, I didn't
percentage of our
think
clients'
like that.
portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com. Investing in securities involves
Yeah, I'm just doing it through StreamYard here. You know, not the
All right.
ideal setup.
Double check that.
Okay, yeah, let's double check it later. All right. Okay.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Yes, shorter show today. We got Kyle Draper in San Francisco as we get ready for the Kings and the Grizzlies, and people enjoying your background. Drapes, based on the comments we're getting in the chat. Compio, asks, is that some high-tech exercise equipment behind Draper? Is Draper going to get a workout in during the show? Ryan Williams, Arts of Silva, no, those are rails to hang a TV on the wall so that Drapes can watch cartoons. So, I don't know, people coming after today, Drapes. I don't know what that's about.
Whitey, I don't know what I do to deserve this kind of treatment.
I don't
You know
either.
what I mean? Like,
All you do is work hard for the benefit of the viewers and listeners, and that's how they treat you.
yeah, exactly. It's I bring my hard hat. I come to work every day. I do the best I can, and then Ryan Williams, Art, and Compio. That's how they treat me. I you know what? I tell you, life doesn't pay, man. It's tough. I see how it is.
Ryan Williams Art thinks that you're in Roy Al's dressing room. So,
I thought about wearing Royale's sweatshirt, that sweatshirt I got today, but I was like, Nah, we don't need that. I don't need to exercise those demons just yet. We're good right now. So
now, do you have to share some of the studio space with the Warrior people tonight? Because I think they play as well. That might be a national game. Are you up there with Bonte and those guys tonight?
yeah, I'll see those guys. And the thing that upsets me about, those are my guys. I'll keep it real. Those are my guys. But it's like 1 against 3. I'm the only one repping for Sacramento down here. Monte's talking the trash. Festus Ezeli.
And Festus Ezeli went to high school here.
That's what I'm saying. Chris Mullen, and I'm like, where's my backup? Where's Mike Bibby? Where's Morgan? Like, I'm the only one that's taking it for Sacramento, man. Those guys. Yeah, so, and this is another thing that bothers me, White. Pregame, we're in the big studio. But halftime and postgame, we got to go to the small studio to make way for Bonte and them. It's like, damn, man. We need
so
to
halftime and postgame, they have you back in the basement? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, pretty in the closet there, with the broom and dustpan and stuff like that. Hey, but you won't know at home, big fella. We're going to deliver a great show tonight, no matter what.
I know. The Athletic has first quarter grades in for all the NBA teams since we're, for the most part, a quarter of the way through the season. Skip Bishop, the great William Skip Bishop in the chateau, he says anything greater than a D plus is a joke. Got to be honest about this team. No participation trophies or social promotions. Do you want to give us your grade, Drapes, or you want me to share what Zach Harper's grade is first?
For the Kings so far this season?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably say a D.
Mm-hmm. At least.
If I'm being honest, I got to keep it real. I'd probably say a D.
Yeah. And you would hope that they would say that as well, right?
Right. I mean, because to me, a C is average passing grade. We haven't been average. We've been a little below average. And so, yeah, I think it's a D.
Yeah. Zach Harper, by the way, he gives the Kings a C minus. And the only teams, he's also got Portland C minus, Utah D minus, and, the Pelicans might want to see the teacher. I would say it's got to be at least a D, to your point. And you would hope that anyone in the organization would say that as well, because this year's about at least getting back to the playoffs. And right now, of course, if the postseason started today, they wouldn't even be in the play-in. So there's plenty of time to correct that. But based on what they've done to this point, it is substandard, Drapes. Minimum achievement at the most.
Exactly. I agree. And you know what, Whitey? It ain't even minimum achievement, because if this is minimum achievement, I don't want it. Like, this ain't it. We ain't there yet. And so, I mean, but the good thing is, and it's the first quarter grades, you know what I mean? We ain't even at midterms yet.
Right.
You know what I mean? We got time to turn it around. There's going to be some extra credit work that you can do, things like that, and so this team has time to turn it around, but it's been a disappointment, man. Honestly, if I was to compare this year to last year, I'm actually more disappointed in this start than last year's 46 win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just because when I look at last year actually felt worse than what it really was. You know what I mean? This feels bad, and it is bad. It's like, damn, 10 and 12, like 12th in the Western Conference or whatever. Like, come on, we're a better team than that.
That's a really interesting way you put it. I never thought of it. Last year was worse than it seemed. And you're right, because we were still so caught up in what had happened the year before, right? It was so spectacular. We didn't realize that things were going as poorly as they were last year. And this year has been even worse. So let's go. And then, as you say, you've got opportunities with, tests, special projects. These games, like the game against Houston, the games tonight, these are like chances for you to make up some of your grade against good teams in the Western Conference.
Right. And the issue with the Kings, when you look at it and you look at their schedule so far, like if you lose to Minnesota, all right. If you lose to Phoenix, let's say, all right. But the problem is, if you lose to Oklahoma City, okay. The problem is, and it's been the issue the last couple of years, we're losing the teams we're supposed to be better than. And so going forward, think about it like this, Whitey. If we want to keep the analogy going of class and school, These are the early quizzes that we're struggling with. This ain't the big test. You know what I mean? These are the ones we're supposed to pad our grades with, build up some goodwill.
Some of this is just review, Drapes. It's early in the semester. It's just review work.
Exactly. This is last year's review. We're just catching up on old stuff. And so going forward, we're going to have to win some games, quote unquote. We're going to have to maybe beat a Boston this year. You know what I mean? We're going to have to maybe beat OKC a few times. We're going to have to win some games that we're not favored in.
See what you think of this. Zach Harper's explanation for his C- for the Kings. He writes, the Kings dealt with some significant injuries and are still solid, but this is a better team than their record, and I want to see them go on a run, end quote. That's not the way I would put it, but what do you think of that?
No, I get it. I get it because it is a better team. And I do believe, and I'm hoping the Houston game was, a precursor to what we're about to see here. Once this team gets clicking and gelling and going, we've had so much negative momentum to start this season. I feel like I'm looking at the schedule right now, Whitey. If we could beat Memphis, we could beat San Antonio, Utah, New Orleans, Denver, Lakers, Indiana, Detroit, Lakers. Like, we can beat all those teams if we play the right way. And so I'm looking forward to the positive momentum. Give me a 3 to 5 game winning streak and watch where this team goes.
This may be silly, but here's how I'm choosing to view this. There may be a silver lining to the Kings start that is, it's not great.
Yeah.
We both said like D minus. And I think you could argue that perhaps the Kings and those making the decisions, perhaps the last couple of years, perhaps they've been kind of lulled into a false sense of security, perhaps thinking, this team's pretty good. Maybe they thought the team's a little better than it was going to be. They made some moves that didn't work out. Well, now you can't possibly be lulled into a false sense of security because there's got to be a sense of urgency. Right now, you're on the outside looking in. So with the deadline approaching, the Kings obviously are highly motivated to take advantage of any opportunities that present themselves to upgrade the roster. So that's a good thing. That if something comes along that they look at and say, yes, this will help us, they're going to pull the trigger on. They cannot afford to say, you know what, I think we're good, because they clearly are not right now.
No, they're clearly not. They got the holes that we've talked about. They got some issues, depth issues that they need to correct. And I do feel like Monty West and those guys, they see the same things that we see. I get it, and so I do think, especially in the Western Conference, Whitey, outside of OKC, I feel like it's anybody's ball game in West. Like we just beat Houston. I'm not scared of Houston. I'm not scared of the team we're about to see tonight. I'm not scared of Denver. So I do think there is an opportunity for the Kings, along with like 6 other teams, to be buyers right now, to go for it right now, sort of similar to what we saw last year at Dallas.
Mm-hmm. Folsom Mike on the text line says, the problem is we're 12th, and who ahead of us are we better than? He says Spurs maybe. That's it, sadly. Folsom Mike.
Woo! Come on, Folsom. So you saying we can't be better than the Clippers? Like, we should be better than the Clippers and give the Clippers all kinds of credit. They're playing lights out right now. They're playing some great ball. That home court advantage is a real thing. But I think in terms of the roster, we are a better team than the Clippers. I'll tell you, Folsom Mike, right now who I think we're better than.
Who's that?
Spurs, I think we're better than. Lakers, I think we're better than.
Lakers, yeah.
Yes. Nuggets, I think we're better. I'm talking about when we're at our best, I think we are better than these teams. The Clippers, I think. The Warriors, I think we're better than the team we'll face tonight. And so the key for us is, if we're playing at our best, because that's what we need to be, can we catch these teams? Can we surpass these teams? And I think so.
Yeah, I had an interesting note here from Jay earlier. I know you saw it. He sent it to both of us. Warriors have lost 6 of 8. Lakers have lost 6 of 8. Pacers have lost 8 of 12. Kings have lost 7 of 10.
Right.
Yeah. Turn it around. Take advantage of these sinking teams in the West.
Yeah, exactly. And everybody's going through it. Everybody outside of maybe OKC and Houston has had some struggles this season. Even Phoenix at 12-8. Remember, they had that hot start, Whitey? Then
Yeah.
they lost, and they had some injuries. They lost.
AD's
some
hurt. Yeah.
Yeah,
Minnesota's actually playing a little better right now.
Yeah, Minnesota's playing better now. They've won 3 in a row. So a lot of the West has gone through some struggles. The question is, can the Kings now take advantage and turn it around and hopefully turn the corner going forward?
Fans Only in the chateau says this year's team is interesting and has more potential than last season, to which the aforementioned Skip Bishop says, which makes the team's performance more head-scratching.
Right. It is a head-scratcher of a season. And I think if we knew or thought they were going to be bad, Whitey, and the team struggled, well, it's to be expected.
Right.
But because we expected, and I'm talking the organization, expected great things, and then to come out like this, it makes you want to hit the panic button. Like, what's going on here? We got to make changes. And so we'll see tonight, man. This would be a big win, I think, tonight for the Kings.
Lots more on the Kings and the Grizzlies coming up, of course. But speaking of head-scratching, a lot of people wondering, what are those Sacramento – can I call them Sacramento A's, Jay?
Call them that.
Nah,
Sacramento.
The organization says no.
They ain't called me yet, though.
A lot of people scratching their head over what this A's team that's going to be playing in Sacramento did today. We're back with that on Sacktown Sports.
Tonight, Kings and Grizzlies. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 3:30. Tip-off at 5. Your exclusive home for the Sacramento Kings is Sacktown Sports 1140.
You know, when you have a monumental event in your life, someone has a baby or you have a wedding or you go on a great trip, you got pictures and you can't wait to share everybody. And I literally shared with Andy here at the station today the pictures and videos I took of our new garage door being installed by National Garage Door, and hopefully you'll get a chance to see those soon. It was a big day for us. I proudly recommend National Garage Door, 638-4554. If you have an old garage door, maybe needs a little sprucing up so it's not rattling so much, or you need a brand new one installed, you need National Garage Door, family owned and operated. They've been around since 1974. Why is that? Because service is their number one priority. And I can tell you the service is outstanding. The styles, the prices, quality of their new doors are they surprised me, frankly, in the showroom meeting with Kevin and looking around at all the different garage doors that are available. There's a lot you can do with your garage door these days, and we're glad we went to National Garage Door. So if you have garage door needs, maybe your old one is coming apart, or you're looking to improve your curb appeal, let National Garage Door come through for you in the clutch and be your big-time closer. 638-4554. That is National Garage Door.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the San Francisco 49ers.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center for your Thursday forecast. It's going to be a nice day to be outdoors. Mainly sunny skies expected. Light winds and highs today will peak in the mid-60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
This report is brought to you by the San Francisco 49ers. Be there December 12th for Thursday night football at Levi's Stadium as the San Francisco 49ers take on the Los Angeles Rams. This battle of NFC West rivals is presented by Rakuten. Tickets are available at 49ers.com/tickets.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. Call 800-881-4242. 800-881-4242.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Hey, Sacramento Kings fans, join us for a watch party and live game night broadcast with Scott Marsh and Henry Turner at Tom's Watch Bar this Friday from 3 to 5 against San Antonio. Complete with 360-degree viewing, surround sound prizes, and more. Tom's Watch Bar.
There's never been a better time than now to get yourself into a brand new Jeep because we're still celebrating Black Friday all month long at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. And there's a reason people keep coming back because it's the place where a handshake still means something. Off Business 80 across from Hagen Oaks Golf Course. And Merry Christmas from Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is expanding. I guess you could say the Super Shop is getting more superer. That means more for you, more apparel, more equipment, more shoes, more gift ideas, more of everything you want. If you're looking for the right gift for the golfer in your life, let the friendly team of Hagen Oaks experts help you find the perfect gift. From golf bags to golf balls, from golf pants to golf shirts, from rain gear to golf gloves, Hagen Oaks has it all. And much is on sale. Visit the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Rare Shop, Fulton Avenue at Business 80, or find us at hagenoaks.com.
Insurance companies perform a very valuable service, but they want to keep their money. Although most cases settle before trial, it is paramount that the insurance companies know that if pressed, your legal team has the experience to take your case all the way. For 25 years, Ashton & Price has earned the reputation that if the insurance company isn't fair, we're ready to force them to be fair. My mom used to warn me, wait till dad gets home. Think of us as dad. The best part, there's no fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Yep, 'tis the season. Hey, if you take pride in your gift giving, here's a great idea for you. Gift cards from the Good Feet store. Okay, so arch supports aren't exactly what they've been hinting for, but you know they'd love them. And with the Good Feet lifetime warranty, it's a gift they'll enjoy forever. Buy a Good Feet gift card now, and Good Feet will boost its value 20%. That's a 20% gift from the Good Feet store. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Vacaville, and in Reno on South Virginia Street.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
Drive Guys, live and local, every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sacktown Sports.
Kyle Draper's in San Francisco today. Get ready for his pre- and post-game duties. Kings taking on the Memphis Grizzlies. We take you up to game night about an hour away here, and we'll get back to the Kings and Grizzlies. But, Drapes, I think we got to take at least a moment here to talk about what the Athletics, who are going to be playing in Sacramento, are doing. You really won't let us call them the Sacramento A's, huh, Drapes?
I guess you can. Like, you know what? You gotta understand too. I'm employed by the Kings.
Yeah.
Uncle B signed those checks. You know what I mean? So I gotta look out for Drapes here too. But if you and Jay want to call them the Sacramento A's, go for it, man. By all means.
And let's put a disclaimer out there right now. This has no bearance on Kyle Draper,
right?
His thoughts, his beliefs. This is a J thing and a Whitey thing. That's good.
Yeah,
and I'll take it. It's a J thing if you don't want a Whitey.
Yeah, I'll sure sign me up. The views expressed by Jay and myself do not necessarily reflect those of Kyle Draper.
Yes,
or the management do that with everything. Niners, who else?
Or the management of the Sacramento Kings.
Right.
And some people here in the chat are getting a little excited. Trent N. I can't wait to buy Sacramento A's bootleg gear in the parking lot at games.
You know it's going to be out there, right?
Uh-huh.
You know that. I mean,
yeah.
You guys saw the hat I wore a few weeks ago. It just said Sacramento, but it had A's colors and everything.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
There's workarounds. There's ways around
that.
Of
course. You know, all the and the other thing too is, you know, Sacramento home-based brands that are from here, independent brands, things like that. They're going to have all that type of, you know, gear for the Sacramento A's.
You know, there's going to be shirts, if there aren't already, that say Sacramento, and the A's in Sacramento will be the Oakland A.
Yeah, the A,
thing, you know, the font. Yeah. I think we've already seen those, haven't we?
Matter of fact, I might make one up.
Hey, you know what? No, I got my T-shirt shop.
Man, we need to talk. We got a lot of things that we need to talk about.
Yeah.
We may have to talk about that.
Oh, Uncle V would love that, Drake.
Right?
Technically, man. Uncle V doesn't have his hand in the pot. He's just helping a friend, to the best of my knowledge.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Drake. Cut your mic off.
So, Jay, what did you make? And I think you shared the news with us today. Right-hander Luis Severino and the Athletics, who will be playing in Sacramento, in agreement on a 3-year, $67 million free agent contract that is the largest guarantee in the franchise's history. What's going on?
Drapes, did you want to speak on this topic, or did you just want to take a step out?
Two things come to mind. It's embarrassing that this is the largest guarantee. When I'm watching,
that's a good point.
Shohei gets $700 million or whatever it is, and Soto's about to get $600+ million and stuff like that. It's embarrassing. Now, from a baseball standpoint, and we talked about this in the text line a little bit. Jay wondered in our text chat, is this a signal that the A's might be actually trying to win some games?
I don't know that it is.
That'd be a no. Yeah,
I hope it is.
Come on, man. I'm trying to throw him a bone out there.
Yeah, well, I see Uncle V coming through you. He's speaking through you. He's shining through you, and I get that. But the other part of that, too, is right behind that, I said, what? Are they trying to get to the salary floor, which is what, Whitey was saying. And I think that's where it is. Whitey put a article from Sports Illustrated.
Yeah, it was last month, I think.
Yeah, that was specifying and going over those things that the Oakland A's have doing. And I've been seeing that over the last 2 or 3 weeks, fellas, about the Oakland A's trying to get to $100 million, which their 40-man roster last year was in the 80s. Yeah. It's about 88, 89, depending on give or take, a couple of moves that they made. And so they have to continue to get that revenue sharing, which is theft in its own right, but I'm not counting their money. Mm-hmm. They have to get to a certain salary floor, so to say. And you know what the A's will do? They'll get to the floor, and then just like most baseball teams, they'll start to remove some prospects, push them down, keep them down in AA, so you don't have to pay them the AAA money and all these different things that go along with these tips and tricks when it comes to baseball.
They could be killing two birds with one stone, in a sense. On the one hand, you sign this guy, Luis Severino, who, he was an all-star 2018 or whatever it was.
Never healthy, though.
Right. And he had a nice year. Last year, 183 innings, had his healthiest year in many years. So he was a really good pitcher for the Mets. So you sign him, so fans are excited. At the same time, by signing him, your salary comes up so that, there's been a lot of speculation that the A's know the other owners and the Players Union are going to look at the A's like, you're getting revenue shared. What are you doing with it? Are you reinvesting it in the product? Okay, then we're okay with it. And that's what they've done here. So that could be part of it. It's like, we improved the team, but also they're keeping the other owners and the Players Union off their backs.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the story that Jay, I think it was Jay that sent us, and from SI.com, Jason Burke. He says the union is closely monitoring how the A's use their revenue sharing checks. This is from a piece that John Shea wrote when talking to Tony Clark. He said the union is closely monitoring the A's use of their revenue sharing checks after they were phased back into the program, the latest collective bargaining agreement. The A's would have been disqualified from revenue sharing had they not met a January 15th deadline to secure a binding agreement in Oakland. So this is the A's trying to, like Jay said, like you said, but from a baseball standpoint, fellas, it actually makes sense, right?
It does.
Signing.
Yeah, it
does. For the A's, anyway.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, well, first of all, let me say this, Drapes, and I didn't mean to cut you off there, brother.
Yeah.
I'll say this and get out your way. Anytime, absolutely anytime the Sacramento A's signed any free agent, we're happy.
What did you call him, Jay?
Sacramento A's.
There you go.
Yeah.
I can't hear that. What?
Yeah. Sacramento A's. Yeah, Draper, go ahead, cut your mic off. No, but seriously, when they sign a free agent, and you look at it on social networks today, and Jeff Passan, I believe, was the first person to break the news. Fine baseball writer, fine baseball reporter for the 4-letter. He came out and he even said, yes, you read that right. You read that right.
Mm-hmm.
The A's, and he said the A's, didn't say Sacramento A's, because, Jeff is doing what he's supposed to do.
Right.
Sacramento A's signed a free agent. And when's the last time you can really say that and have a little excitement behind it and not be one of those, Jed Lowry, no disrespect to Jed Lowry, be like that type of free agent signing, and it's like, okay, you're just trying to fill in some salary filler, compared to like, oh, that may actually have, something, some progress on the field.
Yeah. he's getting more. Severino, that is getting more money than people thought he would get. But I think the A's in this case, they probably had to overpay to get him to consider coming here, because we just had the story Mark Kotze was talking a few weeks ago about how we tried to get Walker Buehler and he didn't want to come play in a minor league park. So, I think Severino probably had to be, look, we want to come here. And not really. Well, look how much money we'll give you. Oh, okay. But it's probably going to work. And I think if you look at the A's roster, that's the one thing that stands out as the weakest part is the starting pitching. So, I mean, it's a kind of a win-win, hopefully.
Yeah. And what do you guys think, though? Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe it's, being claustrophobic in this closet they got.
You're starting to lose oxygen.
It might be. But do you think the A's believe that maybe they aren't that far away from being in the mix? I'm not saying being a championship contender, but having meaningful games in August. 69 wins last season. Can they get to 80 with the current roster? You add Severino, maybe one other piece. Like, are they that far off? Maybe I'm crazy, guys, but could they be thinking, especially with the move to Vegas, maybe down the road? Like, you're trying to secure funding for a new stadium. You're trying to get people on board to give you money. Well, maybe you put a decent product on, maybe that'll help you out as well.
I can see how you could think that because they had such a good second half. Right. So it's not, it's not crazy. It's still unlikely. You see that sometimes a baseball team has a really good half season. They've got so many young players. It just depends if they continue to develop. Right. It's not, something that is unthinkable. It's still a long shot, but it would be a lot of fun for people going to the games if that were to happen. I don't know, Jay. To me, it's like, yeah, probably not. But I mean, there is a chance.
Yeah, I think they surprise people. If you can surprise people with 69 wins last year, right? Yeah. 69 wins. If you can surprise some people with 69 wins, I think that was the team that did it. The other part too, and I had to look it up, is, it's 2024, right, fellas? And behind me was Kyle Ledbetter and Anthony. And I asked him, like, we were having a conversation, how old are you guys? And Anthony's like, I'm 23 years old. And hopefully I'm not telling anything Anthony doesn't know. And Kyle, of course, is under 25 as well. And so I say that to say, because I had to go look at the roster. And when you start to see players with 2000, born in the 2000s, that's how you know you're super young. And the A's have tons of players that are born not so much as 2000, but 1999, 2000, 2001. And so this team is super young. They're super, super young. I think they are probably still a year out from being what you're asking.
If they get, what did you say, 69 last year? If they got to 80 this year, that would be a huge accomplishment. Yeah, we're not going to win anything. Winning 80, but it would be. I'm with you. Maybe if everything goes well, maybe 2 years.
But this is how. And the A's aren't the only team to do this, but you rarely see contracts where the second year you can basically entering your second year, you can option out.
Right.
They slick, man. You got to watch them drape. So, it's real petrol on these boys' back. Like, they oil is real slick, because how you're going to sign someone now and then next year, we're going to go ahead and give you an option. Normally it's 2 with an option. So it just lets you know where they thinking, man. They just trying to do some salary filler, but this may be one of those
shiny
moves.
on the box, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The box look good. It's one of those things. You ever go, like, I do this with cookies or cakes or stuff like that. You go and you see it in the glass, and you're like, man, that thing look good. Mm-hmm. Then your urge, you buy it, and you're like, yeah, this was all right. Look better than it tasted.
Yes.
That's kind of the A's right now.
By the way, Jay, you mentioned Anthony. Yeah. Either he's a really hard worker or he needs to learn how to tell time, because what's he on at 3:30 today? He got here like before 2.
He did, but let me give Ant a caveat, because I asked him the same thing. I said, damn, Ant, what? Dude, you trying to overachieve back here? What's up, brother? But our esteemed assistant program director, who is Chris Verlat, morning show producer, third wheel of that show, he puts out our schedule every week, right? And so last week he put out the schedule, and he's wearing a lot of hats right now, right? Yeah, and so he put the schedule out and it said 2:30 game start. For game night. All right. But I was telling Anthony, literally 10 minutes later after he put the schedule out, he texted me. It was like, hey, Jay, I already know. If you put 2:30 on your schedule, you and Drake, y'all walking out the studio. It's over. So he was like, no, I need you guys to be there till 3:30. I just messed up on the schedule. I don't think Ant, being a 23-year-old, they always on their phone and not paying attention.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. What do you think? Can we talk a little about the 49ers when we come back? Is that all right with everybody?
We're trying to talk about winners here, but I guess.
There was a joke to be said there. Just think about it. And I was like, I'm not going to say that. We're talking about winners. Okay.
All right. Don't say that, Jay. Don't do that.
And, of course, we'll get back to the Kings and the Grizzlies as well with the Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Tonight, Kings and Grizzlies. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 3:30. Tip-off at 5. Your exclusive home for the Sacramento Kings is Sacktown Sports 1140.
Football fans, head coach Tim Plow here. Your UC Davis Aggies have a spot in the FCS playoffs and are hosting a game this Saturday versus Illinois State right here at UC Davis Health Stadium. Let's get Shredville rocking. Gather your group, fire up the tailgates, and get loud and Aggie proud. Your playoffs tickets can be purchased by visiting UCDavisAggies.com/tickets or by calling 530-752-2471. Go Ags.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khdk.com.
Here comes Floyd, throw over the middle, intercepted by Fred Warner.
Faithful to the Bay.
Fred gets up and runs back the other way, 30.
Be there December 12th for Thursday Night Football at Levi Stadium as the San Francisco 49ers take on the Los Angeles Rams.
20, one block and he's in.
This battle of NFC West rivals is presented by Rakuten.
Touchdown!
Tickets are available now. Secure your seats today at 49ers.com/tickets.
Sam, Fred, Cisco!
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
It's Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room. And guess what? Primetime football is back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. As always, offering the best food, the best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. So check them out, Capital Casino, and always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, I'm Justin Gingery. One of the most common questions I receive is what makes us different from other law firms. At Gingery, Hammer & Associates, we handle your case from beginning to end. Whether your case reaches a settlement, whether we need to file suit, or even take it all the way to trial, we will be with you along the entire way. And because we are committed to you and your case, we are as invested as you are in making sure you get the outcome you deserve. If you have an injury, just call Gingery.
Afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
With you till 3:30 today. Then game night takes over where the Kings get ready to take on the Memphis Grizzlies. That's why Drapes is in San Francisco. Update for you, Drapes. The TV is still stuck on Channel 10, and we still have no Christmas tree in here, just so you know.
Damn, man. I wish I was in the studio, man. We'd march down to Steve's office and get some things taken care of.
Yeah,
I don't cages a little bit.
I don't doubt that you would, but Jay just told me that we know that our message yesterday was heard, right,
Yeah.
Jay? There were some people that heard our message.
Yeah. I told Whitey if you were here, the boss man was in the building. I was gonna have you go down and, like you said, rattle a few cages, but a few employees around here came up to me and told me they heard the message and that it was hilarious. And, you know, us talking about not having a tree, and we got offered a tree, fellas.
How about
Really?
that?
We got offered a tree, so we we're making headway.
Yeah.
Is it a hand-me-down tree or is it like our
You know,
own tree?
that's
Charlie
not to
Brown
be
tree.
disclosed.
Yeah.
Disclosed. No, it is already a tree that is in the building, but it is, I can attest, it is one of the bigger trees in the building.
Ooh,
Yeah, they're
Okay.
like, hey, look, we can bring this tree upstairs for you if you want to.
wow.
And I was like, I don't think it was really too much about the tree. I just think we were forgotten about. We were Cinderella.
We do need that TV taken care of, though.
Yeah, it would
Hey,
be nice.
What,
Yeah.
That
what
is
you
true.
watching now, Whitey? Judge Judy or something? What you got
I
on?
don't know. There's two women and they're talking about soccer now, but earlier they were showing crazy things from the internet. So I really don't know what show that is. Yeah. yeah,
You
I don't
know, Drapes, I know you guys will talk about it real quick. Is someone was talking about, you said MASH yesterday?
Oh, yeah. Remember,
Does
y'all used to
MASH
watch-
still
you had
come
to
on
watch
TV?
That, right? Whitey, you watched MASH back in the day, right?
Back in the day, yeah.
Okay, all right. Murder, She Wrote, Gunsmoke, all those kind of Perry Mason.
Gunsmoke.
Now you're going back. It's funny with each show you mention, you're going back further and further.
I know, I'm
Bonanza.
funny, black and white,
Yeah.
man. My parents, I tell you what, man, my parents got it so good. Older people have it so good now. Because remember back when we were coming up, it was like, all right, you got to watch some of the old shows, but you didn't get to watch shows from 100 years ago. Like my parents can watch shows from like 90 years ago now with some of these channels they got out there. It's crazy.
Yes, yeah.
Charlie Chaplin.
Me TV. Yeah, that's
Me
what
TV. all?
watch Me TV, and it's all the old shows. Yeah,
Sound like
My
you
mom loved
partook.
that. I've seen the ads.
Oh,
My
okay.
mom used to watch it all the time. One more thing we got to catch up on, Drapes. Jay had an interesting thing happen to him this weekend. He was one of the great hitters in Sacramento history, and he was at his you're at your alma mater, Luther Burbank.
Yeah. I visit the alma mater.
Yeah, and he's at a football game and
No, basketball game.
basketball game. Okay, they introduced the coach, and he's introduced as a member of the Luther Burbank Hall of Fame, and that's how Jay found out that there is a Luther Burbank Hall of Fame, and that Jay's not in it.
It's cold blood, Drake.
See?
Drake. So my daughter goes to a school, right? And they play my alma mater. One of my good friends is the head coach of my daughter's men or boys basketball. And so I'm like, I'm gonna go to the game. My
You wanna
daughter
say his
comes in.
name?
Yeah, Coach Jermaine Brown over at Christian Brothers. Shouts out to my guy. Daughter goes to Christian Brothers. I come from Burbank, 3500 Florent Road, right? And so we go to the game, supporting the family, supporting the alma mater, and they do the introductions, and they're like, yeah, we welcome Christian Brothers head coach, Burbank Hall of Famer, Jermaine Brown. And I stopped. Now, mind you, this is the Draper thing, if anything. I'm with my daughter. My daughter is with me. And before we go to the game, she's like, hey, Dad, we're going to your school. You're going to show me around, whatever. I was like, don't even worry about it, baby. When you get into the gym, just look up. Your pops is there. I got records, right? I'm up there. You know what I mean? So she's like, oh, okay, cool. Get in there. Burbank Hall of Famer. She's like, oh, Uncle Jermaine's a Hall of Famer? I said I had no clue my school had a Hall of Fame. Dude, it's cold blood. It brought me down a notch, fellas.
Wow.
Yeah, you like Al Bundy living off that 4 touchdown game for your
Yeah,
whole
man.
life.
But I've had multiple of those. That's the thing, right? It's like, come on, man.
They gotta
That's
put some
cold
respect.
blood.
Hey, we got to start that campaign, right?
Yeah,
Get there in
absolutely.
the
It just
Hall of
started.
Fame.
It just started. That's what just happened, right?
So
there.
I asked Whitey, like, that's cold, isn't it? How should I feel? Like, what was I supposed to tell my daughter at that point?
Nah, that's a good question because I probably, knowing me, I would have been like, damn, I'm not up there. Who do I need to talk to? we would have marched over to the athletic director or somebody and be like, yo, you see them records? That's me, kid. Am I next or what? You know what I mean? That's probably how I would have played it. I don't know how you played it, Jay, but that's how.
I just let it go.
I took my daughter, I went to Hogan High and I was on the team in basketball. We were the first team that won the league championship. Not that I had a ton to do with that, but I was on the team. And so years later, my daughter's playing AAU ball. And so they were going to play in that gym. It was a Sacramento team. They're going to play in a tournament at Hogan. And I told her, and I'll show you the trophy, because I remember my coach saying, you guys can tell your family you're the first team that won. So I said, yeah, well, I'll show you the trophy in the trophy case. So we go in there before the game and it wasn't in there. And there's just like broken glass. And she's like, you did what now? And I'm like, we won the the league championship. She's like, well, where's the trophy?
Where's
So
that?
I didn't have an answer.
Is there a banner inside Hogan High? I haven't been to Hogan in a long time.
I don't think so.
Nothing?
There was no banner. Nothing commemorating our team winning.
Man, it's a cold blood game out here.
That's not the Hall of Fame. At least you know you'll get in the Hall of Fame. I don't know if my trophy, I don't even know where it is. I don't know if they're ever going to put it in the trophy case.
No. So somebody has to, right? I mean, because if it's known, then someone can, I guess, clarify. Yeah. It's tough, man. My daughter was like, Dad, okay.
Yeah.
And just kept it pushing. I was like, dang.
Damn, dude.
Can't even brag on nothing.
All right. Well,
nice.
Yeah, that's cold.
We managed to avoid talking about the 49ers a little bit there.
Clap it up.
We'll get back to them at some point. We got Anthony Slater coming up, right? Yeah, Slate's from The Athletic on the Kings.
Okay.
State of the Kings who take on the Grizzlies tonight. That's coming up next on Sacktown Sports.
Christmas music is everywhere. The smell of gingerbread is in the air. And wait, what's that sound? It's Santa. He's headed back to Sacramento for the 41st annual Santa Parade, December 14th in downtown Sacramento. Bring your entire family to the parade route around the capital for over 100 floats, including marching bands, pageant princesses, clowns, horses, and of course, Santa himself.
The 41st annual Santa Parade, Saturday, December 14th with Shriners Children's Northern California, Gurnick Academy, and the California Army National Guard. The fun begins at 10 a.m. Get more info at sacktownsports.com.
Tonight, Kings and Grizzlies. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 3:30. Tip-off at 5. Your exclusive home for the Sacramento Kings is Sacktown Sports 1140.
Finally here. Wendy's new salted caramel frosty. It's cold, salted, yet perfectly sweet, delicious, and it's at the top of Santa's Christmas list.
It's not your average holiday season. Hold on to your hard hats because starting Monday, December 13th, Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet is unwrapping the biggest power tool sale Sacramento has ever seen. We're turning up the heat with 12 days of unbeatable prices on all your favorite Makita products and much more. Free batteries with tools, free tools with batteries, and bare tools starting at just $99. Come on down and give us a visit at 6701 Power Inn Road in Sacramento or shop our Christmas deals online at fastenersinc.net. Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet. Better tools, better prices.
The holidays are always a great time to get together with family and friends, but nothing beats the thrill of Stockton Honda's deals. During Happy Honda Days, find the perfect ride in person or online. With over 400 new Hondas ready to go, now is the time to buy at Northern California's #1 Honda deal, Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company sold on report.
The holiday driving season is here, and my good friends over at Jiffy Lube have an awesome holiday oil change special going on right now. Get a full synthetic oil change starting at just $76.99 with a $33 off coupon online. That's right, starting at just $76.99 for up to 5 quarts of full synthetic motor oil with the online coupon. Go visit jiffylube.com right now, find a location near you, and get that $33 off full synthetic oil change coupon now. Most vehicles are covered, specialty vehicles and diesel are extra. You got to show the coupon for discount. See the store for details. Happy holidays from Jiffy Lube.
Hey, it's time to open up your calendar app for some incredible live events coming your way. This is the Sacktown Sports Live Events Calendar, bringing you the hottest shows in town. Kick off 2025 with country superstars Dylan Scott and Jackson Dean. They're hitting the stage at Thunder Valley on January 10th for a night of hot country hits. Then on January 11th, laugh until your sides hurt with comedy legend Bill Engvall. He's performing live at Thunder Valley, a show you won't want to miss. And the one and only Justin Timberlake is bringing electrifying energy to the Golden One Center on January 15th. This is your chance to see an icon in action. For a more intimate vibe, catch Bryce Vine at Ace of Spades on January 25th. It'll be an unforgettable night of alternative hip-hop. And finally, looking ahead to February 20th, Old 60 lights up Ace of Spades with their unique blend of rock and soul. Get your tickets now because these shows will sell out fast. For details and updates, visit sacktownsports.com. And stay tuned. This is your ticket to the best live entertainment in the 916, the Sacktown Sports Live Events Calendar.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for my friends at American Energy, and they, as always, want to help you stay warm this fall and to make sure your system is operating safely. So right now is the time to take advantage of the $49 fall tune-up inspection, regularly $119, and that includes a full safety inspection, a full duct inspection, and if your system is over 10 years old, the tune-up is on American Energy. So give them a call right now, offering $50 off your first recommended repair, or if you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Check them out at theaeway.com. That's the AE, like American Energy, way.com for an instant quote. In business for a long, long time. A+ Better Business Bureau serving the greater Sacramento area. Get in there today at theaeway.com. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9999 now.
KHD HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Hammer time thrown down by the league. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140. Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
We got Kyle Draper in San Francisco getting ready for his pre- and post-game duties on NBC Sports Bay Area. Kings and the Grizzlies. You got Whitey and Jay in our Sacramento studios. I mentioned that The Athletic had their quarter season grades, and Zach Harper of The Athletic gave the Kings a C-. Speaking of The Athletic, nice enough to join us as he does every week, Anthony Slater. Slates, thanks so much for your time as always. What kind of grade, first quarter grade, would you give the Kings right now?
Oh, geez. I usually try to stay away from these type of, I'm a substitute teacher. I mean, C- feels fair. You can't go straight F, right? They're not in a horrible situation, but I think everybody locally and internally and externally figured, if I told you, 9 and 12, 10 and 12, you'd be like, that's not good enough.
Right.
Yeah, you're right about that, Slates. I'm looking at the report card here. Kings are 7th offensively, 19th defensively. How much do you think, as I want to go back to that Rockets win, how much do you think that win over the Rockets sort of quieted down whatever kind of panic that the Kings organization might have been in?
A little bit, right? That's just like the NBA schedule is crazy in that sense of like, a win alleviates pressure for, either 48 hours or if you're on a back-to-back, it's 24 hours. But if they go LL in Memphis, San Antonio, I don't think any type of noise externally or temperature internally will be lowered. Now, again, if you go 1-1 or certainly if you go 2-0, you'll feel like, hey, there's some momentum here. But that's how it works. Again, like, you guys know I'm mostly around the Warriors at times during the season. Well, last time I talked to you, I think they were like 12-3, and you were wondering if the dynasty was back. Well, they've lost 5 in a row now, and Steph and Draymond are out tonight, and they're tumbling down the standings, and there's a little bit more heat around them.
Anthony Slater with us, and you and Sam Amick wrote a really interesting piece about the Kings a short time ago, and about how a lot of people are keeping an eye on De'Aaron Fox and his situation and his future here. He went off against the Rockets, and after the day after the game, Mike Brown said he had a great game because he got angry at them. They kind of got in his face a little bit. He got angry. Mike Brown said, as you probably know, Slates, he said he has to he can't wait for someone to make him mad to be a great player. My question for you is, how much of Mike Brown's job description here in Sacramento is about making De'Aaron Fox or helping him become a truly elite player?
Well, it's one of the highest priorities on his checklist, but I think, as you all know, his checklist is like 57, things deep. They got to get Kevin Huerter going. They certainly got to get, Keegan Murray, to play like he did the other night. But De'Aaron Fox is, in my opinion, one on the pecking order of this team, particularly if you, at a playoff level. I think we saw it during that series against the Warriors a couple of years ago. Like, he is their playoff closer, their playoff superstar guard. And I thought just the gauntlet of the playoffs, right? The pressure of the playoffs. I thought he showed himself really well in that series. And, to get to that next level, to drag the Kings to that next level, they especially with the way, they're playing as injured, as they've kind of been early this season. They've kind of needed him on an almost nightly basis to bring that type of juice. And you guys know, this has always been a storyline around Fox, right? I saw some video floating around today of, like, when Buddy Hield was back on the Kings, like, telling cameras, like, hey, he plays better when he's ticked off.
Yeah.
That's just kind of De'Aaron Fox. He's kind of got that cool, smooth mentality. But when you kind of light a fire under that cool, smooth mentality, it's like that is where you see the greatness of De'Aaron Fox. Which, by the way, this to me, like, this isn't like one night, oh wow, he had a great game against the Rockets. He's been torching, I think, early this season. To me, he's an all-star, he's an all-NBA candidate. I think he has held up his end of the bargain. I know that they're in a disappointing position in the West right now. I view zero fault of De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, Anthony Slater joining us. Slates, Malik Monk's been in the starting lineup for a few games, and what do you think about just what he brings to that lineup? And it seems like, we've seen Mike change things before, but it seems like he's there to stay right now.
Yeah, it does. I think that was always kind of the urgency move, and the urgency, ticked up early this season. And that was kind of the card he was going to play because, look, Keon Ellis, not only obviously he's had a pretty disappointing start, but obviously, currently doesn't necessarily have the trust of the coaching staff. I think they still want to play Kevin Huerter as they did the other night. I thought Kevin Huerter had one of his best games of the season, but he wasn't really, working with that starting lineup. And you don't want to say Mike necessarily hit the panic button, but this was almost his final card. And they're trying to get their 5 best players on the floor at the same time. And I like the move, and it seems to be working. The other thing is Monk clearly likes the move, and to get him kind of invigorated and going, it's a good thing.
Anthony, as we spin ahead to the deadline, and we're not going to talk about any particular names right now. I'm sure we'll be talking about that a lot in the weeks to come. But as I look at the teams that are expected sellers, isn't it pretty much the same bunch of teams we've been talking about for the last year? Nets, Blazers, Wizards, Jazz, and Bulls. Isn't it pretty much the same teams in the same situation for the last year or so?
Yeah, for sure. Those are probably the more aggressive sellers, you'd say. But teams can pivot off, and situations can present themselves. Injuries can happen, which makes teams throttle back, or there sometimes can be a deal where it makes sense for both sides. That you don't necessarily expect. Let's go back a couple deadlines, the Halliburton Sabonis trade. That wasn't your traditional buyer seller, right? That was just two teams in kind of unique situations where one wanted, a new lead guard, the other kind of wanted a new lead center, you might say. They were both in a sense win now pieces. I know that the youth and the contract situations were a little different, but you can find partners that aren't just your traditional, they're selling off every piece. Now, I will say, you look at the deadline last year, probably the biggest, most memorable move is, Dallas goes and gets PJ Washington from a selling Hornets team, and they get Daniel Gafford from a selling Wizards team, and they kind of jolted their team back to life doing that. So maybe the answer is to go get one here, one there from your traditional sellers, but we're so far away, in my opinion, from teams declaring what they are.
Hey, Anthony, when you look at the West, maybe outside of OKC, I feel like, and Houston, I guess you could say, we don't know what a lot of these teams are. A lot of these teams are trying to still figure it out. As a Kings fan and a Kings broadcaster, should I be, grade what the Kings are doing sort of on a curve? Everybody's going through it this season, it seems like.
Sure. And, you mentioned the Rockets. I'm not ready to declare them solved. We're talking about a 22 game sample. They're playing good defense. But, I'm not, they haven't convinced me of anything quite yet. And yes, I to your point, I thought this before the season. It's a group of very competitive 42 to 50-ish win teams that are going to have hot streaks during the regular season. They're going to have cold streaks during the regular season. And I think a chunk of these teams, similar to last year, are going to end up in that win range. And because competitive but flawed, I think we could go through every team and there's flaws. The Kings certainly have flaws. The Thunder have the least amount of flaws, and that's why they're probably going to win the West. I mean, you see it with Chet Holmgren breaks his hip, and you think, it's going to, they're about to head to a cold patch. Well, then, hey, here's our other, stud center that can just fill in, and they're going to win a bunch of games. So they're, to me, regular season, cut and dry ahead of everybody. But, yeah, name your team right now, and I could give you an issue that they have.
Okay, I will name a team since the Kings are playing the Grizzlies tonight. So how good are the Memphis Grizzlies slates?
We'll see. I think that's going to depend on John Morant's health over the course of the season. Did you see that quote he had the other day about like he's not dunking anymore? Or not that he won't dunk, but he's being more careful dunking. I think that's a really good idea by him, by the way, because as awesome as it is to watch, it's very that's how he's gotten hurt a lot in the past. He popped his hip out and had to miss some time this year on kind of one of his crazy landings. So I would watch his health. Desmond Bane hasn't had the cleanest injury record lately. Jaren Jackson isn't the defender he used to be. Steven Adams was the kind of the backline defense when the Grizzlies were at their best, kind of protecting Jaren Jackson. Now they're trying Zach Edey, who's not playing tonight. He's on the sprained ankle and he's a rookie. I have question marks, up and down their roster about their depth as they've turned it over from the team I remember in the playoffs a few years ago that had the DeAnthony Meltons of the world and some of those other, better, I think, rotation players. But they are playing pretty well right now. They had won 6 in a row, but they really collapsed the other night in Dallas. I don't know if you saw that. And a name people would know, Marcus Smart. He kind of had a rough finish to that game.
Anthony Slater joining us. We talked about some of the teams that are sort of still trying to find their way. Who's a surprise, I guess, so far? Would you throw the Spurs in that mix? Clippers, the way they're playing right now?
I would say Clippers. I think that's a good one. I am saying that after they got beat by about 40 last night at home. Yeah, but I was in Hawaii with the Clippers and Warriors for camp. And they had their 5-6 lead-up practices, and then they played a game down there. And I remember just talking to people in the arena, people in the league, all that, and just seeing the lineups that the Clippers were trotting out there, knowing that this Kawhi Leonard situation was very unsettled. There were people in the building that night. First impression was oh, this is not a playoff team. This is not a play-in team. This is one of the 3-4 worst teams in the West. And that was kind of my opinion coming into the season. And I've seen them have a couple impressive wins in person so far this year. And they're just, Ty Lue's such a good coach. He's such a good defensive coach. They're well scouted every night. They're physical. They turn you over. They slow the game down. James Harden is not who he used to be, but when you kind of have this methodical offense built around with, a sturdy center with Zubac, who I think is one of the most underrated players in the league. Ty Lue can kind of grind that team to enough wins, it seems like, that they're at least going to be competitive at the bottom of the West bracket.
Yeah, for great NBA coverage, great Kings coverage. Check him out in The Athletic. Anthony Slater. Thanks, Slates. We always appreciate it. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, fellas.
And we've got, as you know, Kyle Draper in one of these. He's actually in a sub basement today, I think, for some reason. I don't know. You're trying to be sequestered from those Warrior people up there that might try to steal some of your company secrets or what. But I guess that is the same room you were in last time, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was in a smaller room. Then they moved me here. But I'm looking around. I got a big picture of Steph Curry at the championship parade holding up to Larry O'Brien. I got a lot of Warriors stuff. It is kind of giving me the heebie-jeebies being in here, man. Seriously, I'm going to have to get out of here soon.
What did you think of Anthony Slater's breakdown of where the Memphis Grizzlies are right now?
No, I think he's spot on, man. It's a team that looks good, 7-3 over their last 10, but they got a lot of question marks in terms of, and this is something I brought up, I think it was the other day in the post-game show. Do we trust them for a full 82? You know what I mean? Do we trust John Morant to be healthy? Do we trust Marcus Smart? Remember, last year, they were carting out guys off the street. G League guys, they had so many injuries.
Yeah.
If healthy with everybody out there, they're a team, I think, to be reckoned with in terms of playoff positioning. But I don't know if I trust them a full 82.
Well, here's why it's so foolhardy for any of us. We all do it anyway. But it's really foolhardy for any of us to sit here now in early December and say this team's going to do this in the West when it's all said and done, or that team's going to do that. Because you go back 2 years ago, you remember the Lakers made some moves and transformed their whole season. And as Anthony Slater just said, and we've talked about it, last year was Dallas, making some moves that at the time there were no sure things. And Those moves help to catapult them into the funnel. So a lot of this, as far as who's going to emerge from this sticky mess in the West, it's going to depend on who does what at the deadline. And who knows? We're just guessing as to what's going to happen. But at least one of these teams will have an opportunity to transform themselves at the deadline. Hopefully it's the Kings, Drapes.
Yeah, and here's the thing too, Whitey, and you've mentioned this in the past, because the West is so wide open, like everybody's going to be a buyer pretty much.
Yes.
Like maybe only Portland and Utah are going to be sellers in the West. Everybody thinks that they have a shot to be in that top 6 and to make some noise. And so it's going to be an arms race as we get closer to the deadline. And you may have to overpay to get somebody. And I will say this, though. I know, when we talk about these trades and everything like that, I wouldn't give up this for that guy. That's too much. Ultimately, it's all about, do you win a championship? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you really won't know that until you win. Look at the Celtics. Look at the Warriors and their luxury tax bill and all the money that they have to spend. Well, it was worth it to win the championship. And so if I said, you might have to give up 2 first-rounders for so-and-so player, but it'll get you to the NBA Finals, I think we'd have to do that, And so it all just depends. Like Dallas, they gave up a lot. They acquired a lot last season, but they went for it. I think, and our guy, Evan Sidery, who we had on the show yesterday. Yeah, he came out today and said the Kings will be buyers. They're not looking to make any major trades to ship out talent. They're looking to add to what they have. And so I think it's going to be an arms race to the very end.
Yeah, and that to me, I know I mentioned this earlier, that's the silver lining for Kings fans about where the Kings are right now. I know Dave has talked about how all the things that we're talking about as fans, but they should do this, they should do that, they should tear it down, they should trade this guy, they should be all in this year. The Kings have been discussing all those things. Not that they're necessarily entertaining, tearing it down, but they're looking at everything, and they're going to see the same things we see. And they're going to see that, wow, we have an opportunity here, but we have to do something to upgrade this roster because right now we're not as good as we hoped we'd be. So to me, that's good news. That means they're not going to sit back and do nothing, I wouldn't think. They're going to take advantage of this if the opportunity presents itself to improve. And that's something they really haven't done in the last couple of years, Drapes. We've been waiting for it. Maybe this is the year.
Yeah, and that's the thing, too. We've sort of, preach patience, at least I have, with Monty McNair. And, we've seen trade deadlines come and go. And I'm like, well, he could do something in the offseason. Well, he did do something in the offseason. He added DeMar DeRozan, but the job isn't finished. You know what I mean? And we talked very early on, Whitey, when we first started our show about how you got to watch out for the OKCs of the world, the Minnesotas. Like, these teams are lapping us, the Houstons now. And so, the NBA is a keep up with the Joneses kind of league. Like you always say, if you're not, if you're stagnant, you're dying, basically. Mediocrity is the worst place to be. You don't want to be in that middle area. And so Monty, I do believe, has to go for it. And I'm not talking about trade away all your picks or a big splash, but we need another rotation player on this team at some point this season if we're talking about making a deep playoff run.
Yeah, it's time now for Whitey's wish list, Drapes. I'd love to know what you think of my wish list here. These are the things I'd love to see the Kings do tonight. I'd love to see these things happen against the Memphis Grizzlies. My first wish is that the Memphis Grizzlies are good at a lot of things. They're good to really good at a lot of things, but they are not a great three-point shooting team. At least they haven't been this year. My first wish, Drapes, the Kings need to make more threes than Memphis on a higher percentage tonight. That's going to go a long ways towards getting a big road win. Can we please make more threes tonight? Let's not let this be a one-game thing against Houston. Right. Let's keep doing that.
No, I'm with you. I think, because that's such a huge part of what we are and who we are. Yes. And we saw too, Whitey, you start making some threes, the ball starts moving around, everybody starts touching it. We look like a different team when we make our shots.
Mm-hmm. My second wish, Memphis is deep. They have, as we mentioned, they have 7 guys averaging double figures in scoring. So the Kings need bench production tonight. Kings need Kevin Huerter to embrace and flourish in his role coming off the bench. Think how much better this team would be if Kevin Huerter is like the Kevin Huerter of 2 years ago coming off the bench, Drapes. How great would that be?
Yeah, exactly. You know, he had 13 the other night, and I need double digits from Kevin Herter. I need 3 threes at least from Kevin Herter.
Yes.
Because we talked about, all right, you move Malik into the starting lineup, where you're going to get scoring. Well, Kevin Herter can be the answer for that.
My third and final wish for tonight. The Memphis Grizzlies foul a lot. They commit a lot of fouls. You need to get to the line tonight. You need to make your free throws. Jaren Jackson routinely has 3 fouls in the first 6 minutes of the game. I mean, he is a fouling machine.
Yeah.
As Slade said, he's not the defender that he was. Get him in foul trouble. Get them in foul trouble. Take advantage of that. Make your free throws. And again, that's one of those things that helps you overcome the other team's home court advantage when you're getting to the line and knocking down free throws, Drapes. I wish for that tonight.
No, you're right, man. And you get there and knock them down. And, I'm looking at our boy Domantas Sabonis. He's had some issues as of late. Still shooting 80%, which I'll take. But, I need him, because him and De'Aaron Fox and DeMar, they're going to be going to the line the most. All 3 of those guys, Whitey, right now shooting better than 80% from the free throw line. I love that. Keep it going and knock them down tonight.
Yeah, those are my 3 wishes for tonight. That's Whitey's wish list. And I'm wondering, Drapes, as you get ready, as you've been getting ready for this game tonight, what has really stood out to you about those Memphis Grizzlies in terms of how they've accomplished what they've accomplished and how they present challenges for the Sacramento Kings tonight?
For me, I think, you talked about it, their depth, no matter who's playing, who's injured, who's out, they've been really good. They've been extremely good at home also. And the thing that's scary about this Memphis team, Whitey, they're number 1 in points in the paint. And they do it a number of different ways. It's not like they just dumping it down low. Like, they attack the rim, especially John Morant. And they're also number 5 in fast break. This isn't the grit and grind Memphis Grizzlies from Zebo and Gasol and them. These boys like to push the pace, get up and down. So I think it's going to be a fun game. I'm looking for a track meet with these 2 teams tonight.
Yeah, that's a great point, because I think a lot of times we overlook. I know I used to overlook this fact. When you look at points in the paint, fast break points count as points in the paint because you're getting those layups. So when you see a team that scores a lot of points in the paint, doesn't mean that they're just dumping the ball into the post.
Yeah, exactly. And how about this, Whitey? Did you know, and I got the numbers right here, that Memphis was 2nd in the league in scoring?
Second.
They score 121.4 points per game.
Mm-hmm.
This team can score the rock. You know what I mean? They shoot efficient, 3rd in efficiency in terms of field goal percentage. I mentioned how they get up and down the floor. Their bench unit, 2nd in the NBA in bench points. You know what I mean? And so this is a well-balanced Memphis team, but I think this is the kind of team that actually sort of plays into our hands tonight.
Really?
I think so. I think in terms of how we want to play, free-flowing up and down, this ain't going to be a 95-88 kind of game. This is going to be some point score. So going back to your wish list, that's why I think the threes are going to be so important tonight, knocking them down.
Yeah, that's the thing that scares me the most about Memphis is, to the points you just made, they do push pace. They have a lot of guys coming off the bench. They come at you in waves, as we said, and the Kings have been a little short-handed, and they've been having some issues defensively. So you just got to be ready, obviously, on the road against a good team, to weather some storms and be able to handle some runs that they make and come back at them tonight, Drapes. That's going to be crucial.
Yeah, exactly. I think so. And that's the thing I mentioned earlier about this Memphis team. They're relentless in what they do. You know what I mean? They like you said, they come in waves.
Mm-hmm.
They play at a faster pace. John Morant continually puts pressure on that defense. That's the matchup I'm looking for tonight. Is it going to be De'Aaron starting on John Morant? And, that's the matchup we'll be focusing on the pregame show tonight as well. You're talking about 2 guys that are looking for all NBA, all-star caliber seasons. And so it should be a track meet.
And we need somebody to step on De'Aaron Fox's foot early or slap him or something, right? That's what we need. Even if it's a teammate, even if it's somebody for the Kings, we need to get De'Aaron Fox all riled up.
Hey, pull the fire alarm in the hotel or to do something, right? Do something to get that dude amped up. I'm ready, man.
All right, so you're back with us tomorrow from San Francisco as well, Drapes?
Yes, tomorrow from the
You driving back or you staying the night?
No, I'm staying the night, big fella.
Boy.
You know me, I'm going to move around the city afterwards. You know that.
All right. Well, have a great call. We'll be watching. Have a great pre and post. We'll be watching you on NBC Sports Bay Area. Thank you, Drapes. NBC Sports California, of course, for Kings basketball. And we got Kings basketball coming up here on Sacktown Sports. Stick around. Game night is next. Kings and the Grizzlies coming up on Sacktown Sports.
Over here, don't doubt, we believe over here, we don't bleed over here. And let me just speak real clear.